Hey folks, how you guys doing? Hope you're all having a great Tuesday as usual. This past Sunday was Christmas. If you do or do not celebrate Christmas, I do not care, but I hope you had a great Sunday, and I hope your 2016 was great as well. It's the end of the year, and just about every single year at the end of the year, everybody says, well, this whole year went by so fast, where'd it go? Which is exactly the case again this year, so hopefully you guys had a great 2016, and I wish everyone the best of luck in 2017. On Sunday, I released a video on my benchtop router table. That was a project that I've had in my head for a while to do, but it's weird because I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure everyone else out there is the same way. You've got all these ideas floating around, and I can make this, and I can make this, and oh, this will be really easy to make. And then once you determine like, oh, this will be easy, I'll make this item. Then you get to thinking of, well, do I have all the materials? Well, how is the hardware situation going to work out? Do I have this exact piece of hardware? And you end up talking yourself out of it inadvertently because, oh, well, I don't have this necessary item. When in reality, if you just get your butt going on the project, then your problem solving will take over and you'll find an alternate solution if you do not have this particular item. And that was the case with this router table. I had the idea for quite a while to make. It's just a little benchtop router table, more of a convenience thing than anything, because previously what I was doing is, excuse me, I was just putting the router in my quick release vise on my workbench upside down, clamping it in place and just using it as a little roundover station. Well, then you'll run into the fact that it doesn't have dust collection, and then you have to set it up every time, which isn't much. You're just clamping it into a vise. So I had this idea for a while, and I think it was the locking knobs that stopped me from actually just completing it because, oh, well, I don't have the knobs. I'll do something else this week or something like that. Well, I went over to a buddy of mine, Wayne Brown's shop. He just got a mini lathe. I think it's still considered a mini lathe, but it's a pretty nice mini lathe. And he turned a bunch of pens and got the ball rolling on his addiction with the lathe, I guess you could say. But anyway, while I was there, I snagged a couple star knobs from him. So thanks again, Wayne. And that was just, all I needed to get this project off the list. So that's that. The biggest question I got primarily on it was how convenient is changing the bit in that particular setup. It's really easy to do. The way I have it set up now, I have to remove the router table in order to remove the router. And that's because I sized it so that the router can be removed if it's in a benchtop situation. However, I failed to take into consideration the height of the base of the drill press. So that prohibits the router from being removed as it's currently sitting in place. Not a big deal. I removed my wedge, removed the router table, removed the router, and change the bit. So no, you can't put it all the way up and then remove it, but it's not that big of a deal. And primarily, my chamfer bit's going to live in there. I prefer to chamfer edges rather than round over edges most of the time. So I think it's going to be the most convenient one to just leave in there and be done with it. That project and video, I'm pleased with how they turned out. Let's see, this week's project. I'm not going to have a project for the next couple weeks probably because this Thursday I am having a light nose surgery, nothing crazy. So it's just going to keep me out of the shop. So I'm going to publish some tool talk videos and just some general shop related stuff, mainly on this channel. My main channel will kind of suffer for the next 2 or 3 weeks, but that's okay. And if you only subscribe because of projects, well then I'll see you in a few weeks. Sorry about that. So yes, tool talk on probably my miter saw station next. That's a most requested one. And then I also want to publish a tool talk on my workbench and then my sharpening station. Nothing fancy on the sharpening station. It's basically like Paul Sellers, but with a honing guide. Quick and easy though, and it gets the job done, and I'm very pleased with it. So, with that said, I do want to share 2 things with you. Number one, you guys remember these kitchen utensil shelves? They're not in my kitchen anymore, obviously. They just don't, I like the way that they function, the actual use of them, fantastic, I love it. But at the end of the day, my kitchen is white, and they just don't match, and I just can't find the nerve to paint them. So they're not in my kitchen anymore. I don't know what I'll do with them, but I'm not gonna paint them. And lastly, I want to show you guys my very first woodworking project. And I say woodworking in quotes because it was the first time that I set out as like, hey, I want to make a project rather than like shop class. The only thing I remember from shop class was we made a napkin holder, and that was basically a rectangle with 4 holes drilled on either side with the drill press, and then 4 holes drilled on the top part on both sides, and then 8 dowels. It was all I remember using was the drill press on that one. But anyway, I'm not going to really consider that my first woodworking project because at that point I had zero interest in woodworking, and I was trying to get a grade to pass the class kind of thing. All right, you guys ready to be impressed by some 2009 awesomeness? All right, so this is a birch plywood box, and it was a jewelry box for my wife. And so let's walk around the outside. We've got some nasty chip out right here I think it's on both sides. Let's see. No, just this side. So we got some nasty chip out right here, and these are rabbited joints. First time I did rabbited joints, so super proud of that. But we got some nasty chip out. There's a real thick, massively over globbiness coat of polyurethane on the top, or on the whole thing. And then, let's see, going around at the back, these hinges stick out. They stick out quite a bit. I got some beautiful chip out over here. That's what's up. On the top panel, we are featuring a nice piece of decorative detail there, also known as a knot. I didn't cut around that. And, ooh, this entire piece of plywood on the back is full of chip out and voids, but hey, it's beautiful, right? So then on the inside, we've got this gorgeous picture frame right here, which I I just took a piece of pine and put a cove, it looks like a cove molding bit through it, and then cut 45s. These don't line up one bit, and there's some gaps here. That's me and my wife, a much thinner version of me. And check out these mortises. I'm going to zoom in on these mortises. Beautiful, right? Absolutely beautiful. Precision. And these hinges also act as a tray stop. See, there's a tray in here. And to prevent it from accidentally falling out, these hinges are sticking out into the inside. I have a beautiful little lid latch here, or the drawing a blank. What is this stuff called? Chain. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Oh, and the hardware for the hinges doesn't match. So, yay! The rabbited joinery you can see, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And my wife still keeps this thing. There's just junk in it now. Well, I'm not going to say junk. There's a Steve Eisenman card. That's not junk. But I was super proud of this little tray because it was the first time, well, this tray and the box itself was the first time I did a floating panel bottom. So, yeah. And then the liners that hold up the tray, they're not flat at all. So this rocks back and forth. But hey, that's on purpose because it provides less friction on here and makes this slide easier. Because it is a nice piston fit, you know. But anyway, this thing is full of flaws. Oh, and there's some, it looks like I didn't put any polyurethane on the inside here, but there's a lot of extra polyurethane all the way around here. Anyway, so I decided to share this with you guys because we all start somewhere. And I know it's sometimes might be discouraging if you see someone's nicer project that they put out on YouTube, not taking into consideration how many times or how many projects that they've made and how much experience they have woodworking. So we all start somewhere. Not everything is grand and awesome. This is definitely junk. In my book, I would consider it for my projects to be junk, but it is it's where I started. So my wife appreciates that, and we hold on to it. I say we hold on to it, but it's in our closet, buried in the back, up on top, and you'll never see it. You guys take care, have a great day, and I will talk to you in just a little bit.